Yeah. Public participation is 2 minutes. Yeah,
I'm a little concerned about an article that appeared in the Courier Times about a federal lawsuit that was settled. I was named in that lawsuit, and I wasn't notified of a meeting that was 15 between the council and the lawyer representing our Governor Lebo arrived as our official while not notified of it. And since January of 2012, every time I saw an article in the paper about the lawsuit, it said that the officer was suspended for 11 weeks. He wasn't suspended for 11 weeks. He was put out on paid administrative leave. He did not lose any time, any money. Okay? And I'm upset that I was not at that meeting. I could put some input into it. I'm the one suspended or putting out paid administrative leave because of the first lawsuit that was given to us in 2008. When I was not there. I feel the same way Mr. Devine feels. Apparently we don't, when we have applicants, we don't do an extensive background check on them. If there was an extensive background check on that officer, they would have found out that the type of person he was.
Jack, can you give Bobby a microphone?
They would have found out the type of person that officer was. I can't believe that the borough did hire him after I was told by his chief at the time from Langhorne Manor what had happened in his
Mr. President, I'm going to suggest that right now the mayor may be exposing the borough to some
the lawsuit's over with, Mr. Bueno.
You're right. It's over with, and there were thousands of pages of testimony and documents, and this is not just directed at you. It's directed at people who write on the paper, who write on Facebook, to cherry pick out of that and just state what you want to state that favors you, I think is unfair to the borough. But let me say this, and I wish you would have spoken to me before you went public with this. As you acknowledged before, let me finish. As you acknowledged before, you had your own attorney. So maybe these complaints need to go to your attorney. Number 2, that meeting was for council because it was council's option to object to the settlement. No other defendants were there, okay, other than council.
And on August 20th, there was another meeting with all the people that were named in that lawsuit.
That's untrue.
Okay.
Okay, so let's not expose the borough unnecessarily. A statement was made by the insurance company as to why it was settled, and I think we have to be cautious not to want to cherry pick statements that favor one side or the other, because again, if we were to bring all the testimony in, there'd be boxes and boxes and boxes, and you would have to go through all the testimony. Mm-hmm. But the bottom line is that the case was settled by the insurance company, which council did not have control over settling, okay, unless it wanted to incur a substantial bond. All of the individual defendants, and I'm talking about the second action, were dismissed, not settled with. They were dismissed from the case. The settlement was with the borough. And of course, the position of the borough is that it did nothing wrong, and we still take that position, okay? And now to go and start discussing just portions of the testimony, I think is an unfairness to both sides, okay? To Mr. Webb and to the police department. So I'm just going to caution not to start discussing portions.
Well, then maybe you can explain to me why I was not notified of that meeting that was held on August 15th.
I just got done telling you is that it wasn't a settlement conference. The insurance company decided they were going to settle, and they have to give the borough council an option.
So it was the same kind of meeting that we had with the other lawsuit that we met in the conference room on an executive session?
No, this one was called for by the insurance company. The insurance company was there.
That one was also called
by the insurance company, the lawyer.
Well, then you need to take it up with your attorney, because you had a separate attorney. So you need to take it up with him.
Yeah, I mean, some of these things, just so people know, most of the things counsel is unaware of when you're talking about the lawsuits. It's not anything that we knew about. And I'm learning something right now. Why would the mayor have a separate attorney?
Can't get into that because it's a personal thing. We're cherry picking.
No, I was being.
No one would. You want to know why?
Yeah, I mean that's the first time I heard that.
Listen, there was. I didn't attend these depositions. Apparently, there was a dispute between the testimony of two of the named defendants. And when that happens, the insurance company makes an assessment and says, you know what? It may not be fair for one attorney to represent both. So what we're going to do is we're going to hire an attorney to represent another attorney. In this case, it would be the third attorney to represent the one defendant. Okay, that's to protect their interest so that there's no conflict. So that's why it was done. It's not unusual. It happens all the time. But the mayor in this case had his own attorney at some point, and whatever notice he was to get or not, he needs to take it up with that, because the attorney who was representing the borough didn't represent him any longer.
And the other thing is, Mr. Devine, you had as much knowledge as any other council person that's sitting here tonight about them lawsuits. Whenever they address council, you in executive session to update us on the lawsuit, you were present at that executive session.
Right, I think that's what I just stated. I just stated.
I mean, you knew as much as me, Pat, Greg, Robin, or Betty about these lawsuits. And when they called that meeting, it was a 24-hour meeting. They wanted to settle this case. Everybody was notified. We even want to do a conference call with you. You were in Vegas.
Listen, there were no complaints. I'm echoing the that's what I just said.
Well, we wanted everybody to know publicly that you were part of everything that went on. So it wasn't something behind closed doors. Anything else, Mayor?
Yes, Mr. Dillon, could you have Mr. Waldron check Cherry Street between Lincoln and Grant, the sweeper signs? They're being